here it is. The game. Broncos defeat the Panthers 16-14, ending the greatest run in rugby league history, in my opinion. 4 premierships, 5 grand finals, and the Broncos come from 14-0 down in one of the craziest atmospheres I've ever seen at a club game to snatch the victory. An incredible game of rugby league. One of the greatest Broncos performances I've personally ever seen. I was watching it yesterday, and I saw that was the closest I've ever gone. Like, think I'm watching early 2000 Broncos with guys Lockie, Hodges, you name it, Webke, all those boys. That's the closest thing. Watching those boys yesterday came to that. The atmosphere, when like they were just the heroes of the town, everything was just aligning perfectly. An unbelievable performance from the Brisbane Broncos. I could not be more happy for the boys, and they've earned this through the hard way, and they absolutely deserve it.
Yeah, it was your defence for me, mate. I just didn't think you had that sort of defensive approach in your game. Like I sort of felt like throughout the season, and you said earlier in the show, the defence got better, and I was like, yeah, like it's got better throughout the season, but like the defence that we saw yesterday is what I expected a Madge side to look like. And we just hadn't seen it all season. And then they get to the biggest moment of the season, they go, okay, now we'll do it. Like it just go like for me, the Broncos go against everything I know about what finals teams and teams that compete for premierships should look like. So much so, I thought the perfect example when Reece Walsh missed that conversion from in front.
Oh my god, bro!
Yeah, it fucked up. I thought it was a positive. I went, okay, they're probably better off going for a try than a field goal anyway. They'll lean into playing their natural game. Once he missed that, I was sort of like, I think that helps them.
The only problem I had was like, then we did score, and it was like we could have been 2 ahead
for sure. But it switched your mindset to, oh no, all chips in again. Let's just do our thing.
Oh man, what a game of rugby league. And look, I want to give Penrith their due as well. Like, to think after everything they've been through over the last 5 years, like no words will ever be able to encapsulate what they've achieved. To still put on a performance like that away from home against a red-hot Broncos that are playing for everything, it's nothing short of incredible. Nothing short of incredible. Like, a bounce of the ball goes left or right, they're into another grand final. An incredible performance. Timmy, what do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, well, incredible spectacle for rugby league, wasn't it? Just a special afternoon out at Suncorp there. And, I mean, we sort of sat there all year and then looked at the Brisbane Broncos and went, we know they've got the firepower, they've got the strike, they've got the points in them, but how much ticker do they have? And in the space of 2 finals games, the belief that they had to come back twice and now obviously do it against the Penrith Panthers in such a big game, unbelievable. Like they've shown that they've got ticker, they've got belief, they've got defensive resilience, and that with about sort of 10 to go when they sat there and just repelled Penrith for, I don't know, 4 or so sets in a row, and then to go down there and score back-to-back sets. As you said, like Roo, the 2 tries they scored late, that's Brisbane, they can do that, but just to see them repel Penrith 4 or so sets in a row, outstanding.
Man, and the fact that they have come back from 14 or more down 5 times this year is crazy. Absolutely crazy. It's like, as you said, Roo, it's like goes against everything that you should know about rugby league in regards to winning premierships. Like, you've got to be conservative and you've got to have the best defence and you've got to be willing to grind games out and win by 2. They do the opposite sometimes.
Do we all agree on that?
No, I'm with you, mate. They go against everything that you're supposed to do in the modern era of rugby league. Yeah, whereas back in the day it was a little bit different.
Like, you just, for the amount of errors that they make in games, you get to prelim finals, you get to grand finals, and you get punished for them. I don't know. They don't seem to. They just seem to be able to overcome it. Yeah. It's credit to Madge and the belief that they've got up there at the Brisbane Broncos. It's incredible, but it's just so unusual to see. And I just keep thinking for the last few weeks that it'll catch them. This will be the game that catches up to them.
And you're right, Roo, but like they completed 86%, which it's like Penrith completed 85%. We knew they were going to. And like after that incredible completion rate last week, they came out, and I don't know when their first error was, but I know they were 10 from 10 at one point. And I'm just like, this is a joke. But you sit there, if Brisbane, and this is credit to the Panthers, if the Brisbane Broncos completed 86%, like they shouldn't be losing to anyone with their strike power.
And what's crazy is a lot of those errors in the first half. So I think they were like 65 or something like that. Came back out and just went sweet. So that second half was probably 90% for them.
They had to be near perfect in the second half to win this game and come back from 14-0. And it was the same in the last 20 against the Raiders. They had to be perfect, and they were.
Yeah. And what I will say I was so impressed is their patience. Like there was about a 20-minute mark where they'd wrangled back momentum, and I was just waiting for them to start panicking. I was waiting for Reece Walsh to start chipping for himself and throwing the ball out. They just stayed calm. And the minutes were ticking over and you're going, oh, this is not going to work for us. Momentum's going to go back to Penrith's way. Stayed calm, and then just boom.
And the one moment where I thought they weren't going to stay calm is when there was about 3 minutes into the second half. They'd just come out and they were on about halfway, and on last tackle, Ricky, who had a great game, just scooted from dummy half out of fucking nowhere. And I'm going, what are you doing? What is going on? You give away a heap of field position and you just hang in the fight. You just keep your gloves up.
Amazing.
And you were so calm after that.
Amazing. Hammy, what do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, they were unbelievable, the Broncos. You spoke about their completion rate before, Timmy, 85%. As you've said for a long time, Kev, if they can whip out an 85% completion rate, they're going to be a very tough team to beat just because they've got so many weapons. But their defence, their effective tackle rate, 90%. Penrith Panthers, 86%. So they out-defended the Panthers, who are, absolute machines. So they got plenty of ticker. And the good thing about the Broncos, which is great watching as a neutral, is they're never dead. They've had some remarkable comebacks. You said 5 or more when they've been at least 2 tries down. But to be able to produce that in the big games, they've been so exciting to watch. So sets us up for a pretty exciting grand final on Sunday.
I want to add to that stat. So this is Aaron Wallace on Twitter with 2 absolute rippers. So Broncos are the first team since the Bulldogs in 1998 to have 2 13-plus comebacks in a final series. But here's the big one. Broncos, before yesterday, have had 16 games in finals where they've been held less than 6 first-half points. They'd lost all 16 of them.
No way.
Wow.
I was like, in the noise of what happened, Carrigan's out, Walters is out. Then it's kind of gotten forgotten. They were 14-0 down against the reigning premiers at halftime. The game is over. They're getting towed up in that second half.
And not only were you just down 14, but Penrith did exactly what Penrith wanted to do. If you have a look at your forwards at half-time, Haas made 32 tackles, Pakes made 28, Ricky made 30, Smoothie made 24 in 22 minutes. They did exactly what they did to you in the grand final a few years ago. They worked over the middle thinking this will pay dividends in the back end. And once again, everything we know about rugby league says it will pay dividends. And it didn't at all.
You know what? And the key is, and this is Malcolm Maguire's brilliant game plan. Now, I don't know if he was this specific, but after the game, Ben Hunt said, listen, we knew that they're going to be hard to deal with initially, because what Panthers do is they front load a lot of their energy. And actually, the Melbourne Storm game, it happened as well, where they try to just get you out of there in the first 60 minutes, and then they just get into the monotonous grind and kick you into corners and it's over. And so I reckon So Madge said to the boys before the game, we just need to stay close enough to the Penrith Panthers because we're a second half team. So basically the game plan was just hang in there and stay as close as you can because we will run them down. And I think the difference, and look, these are different squads, but this is why fitness is one of the most important parts of rugby league. A couple of years ago it was a much younger side, probably not as fit. So when that last 10 minutes happens, we're fatiguing. Whereas this time, we're not fatiguing. We're outperforming the fittest team in the competition. It's a master. I love that game plan from Michael Maguire, almost accepting that points will be scored so they don't panic, and then going, boys, we can run this down. We've run it down heaps of times. It's just a part of our DNA to run scores down, and they come out and do that. It's just unbelievable that this is what they've managed to achieve in Michael Maguire's first year as coach. And it's the moment where I thought, oh shit, something might be happening here. So it was about 15 minutes to go, and they went up to Ivan Cleary's box, his coaching box, and he was stressing.
He was rattled.
I've never seen Ivan Cleary like that, ever. In grand finals, never, ever, ever seen him like that. And I was going, he's seeing something, he is worried. Yeah. And then it went to Michael Maguire's, and he was just stone-faced, chill as anything. Matter of fact, so much so, when Reynolds was taking that kick, Maguire was nearly smiling.
Yeah.
He was so confident that he had that in the bag. I've never seen a man so confident in a group of young men that you're going against 4-time premiers, the game's on the line, you are so confident you're smiling. He's sitting there going, even if he misses, I know we'll finish this game and win it. While you've got Ivan Cleary sitting there going, oh, I'm getting worried now. I'm getting really worried.
His resume is just absurd. Look, we speak about it most weeks because it gets better and better, but whether they win or lose this grand final, you sign Michael Maguire to whatever level of footy, it's almost like guaranteed results you won. Not necessarily winning as such, but Broncos' first year, what he did with the Kiwis in that 30-0 final against Australia, what he did with the Blues in that first series, the Bunnies, Matty was saying pre-show, prelim title. He's unbelievable.
He's a giant slayer. Like, if you've got a giant of a juggernaut of a team and you need a coach to come in and chop him down, that's what he is. He comes in and he goes up against all the coaches that, like Ivan Cleary, no one has ever beaten him in a big game over the last 5-6 years. Michael Maguire somehow, some way gets it done. Australia versus New Zealand, they come out, towels up 2-0. No one has won game 3 up in Suncorp. Michael Maguire comes in and does it.
The other one that's probably gone unmentioned a little bit, and I hadn't even crossed my mind till now, and I'm not saying he's largely responsible for it by any means, but he was the advisor at the Raiders last year in helping, make these big decisions, bring players through. They won a minor premiership this year. Like, he obviously had a few fingerprints around that.
For sure. And he was also defensively, had a big play on their defence as well.
Broke the drought at 12-year drought at Wigan as well.
12-year drought at Wigan. Like, his resume is truly, like, very rarely do you find a resume on so many different teams. Like, usually a guy like him is a lifelong coach at one club. And granted, things happened the way they did, but, like, his resume is just incredible. What he's managed to achieve is, like, look, and they've still got a game to go. But I think at this stage, even if they were to lose in the Storm, it's still an incredibly successful year for the Brisbane Broncos. But if they are to go on and win it, like, that's a premiership for the Rabbitohs. It's a premiership for the Broncos. It'll be a win up in Suncorp for the Blues, a series win. It'll be a record win for the Kiwis, and then it'll be a drought-breaking win for...
Took the Tigers to 9th, didn't he? That's basically a premiership.
Huge result.
I'll just say it quickly, and I don't want to put the boot in, but we always talk about administration. Like, we always want to blame coaches and we want to blame players. Here is a perfect example of a coach that wasn't getting the right support he deserved, and you just lost one of the best coaches in the competition because the administration didn't put the right environment around him to be the best version of himself. And that's coming from someone who was critical of Madge at the time. So I'm not sitting there saying I'm some angel. I was critical of him and I was wrong. But it just shows you that you need the whole administration to create the right environment. Otherwise, it's not going to happen.
They lost both of these coaches.
Thanks, Guru.
You're like the Gold Coast Titans of coaches.
We got the best of the lot, though, Benji. You wait. 5-peat incoming. Yep.
Oh,
Put that up.
Mate, absolutely incredible performance. Like, I've never seen a club game so loud, and I'm just so happy with those boys. Like, this is the thing. Everyone, even people that hate the Broncos, they know that this squad has it in them. That's why people are so critical of the Broncos over the last 5 years, because everyone sat there and gone, guys, it's all there for you. The grand finals, the wins, the top 4 finishes, it's all there for you. You just got to take it. And finally, they've gone, okay, we're going to start pulling our finger out and actually take it. And they're reaching their potential. Whereas the reason why they aren't as critical of other teams is like they don't have the roster to do it. They're finally fulfilling a potential, and this is the rewards you reap. It's just, what an amazing... Like, they weren't even supposed to make the top 4. Now you can argue that if they are to win the premiership, it might be one of the hardest roads to win a premiership. So you go minor premiers in Raiders, then you go the Penrith Panthers in like the dynasty Penrith Panthers, and then the premiership favourites in the Melbourne Storm. And matter of fact, I'd even argue that those back-to-back games, Raiders and Panthers, you could argue that's the best back-to-back finals games we've ever seen, like from a single team. Like, that's how good these games are. I actually like the Penrith game more than the Raiders game, not because it was more entertaining. The Raiders game was like so insane, but the fact they're 14-0 down against the Penrith Panthers and the quality of the game as well. Like,
you played substantially better in this than the Raiders.
Yeah,
but because you had to go to this level to beat Penrith.
But like the Raiders one, we'll never see anything like that again. Where we'll see stuff like that again against the Panthers. Amazing stuff. Like, Adam Reynolds, I mean, he misses a grand final kick from the other side of the field, and granted, it's on the sideline. He gets a lot of crap for that. It's like on the sideline, bro. It's a tough kick.
And look, he came in that game with a big groin injury. Like, he was injured that game.
And so while she steps up, shanks an absolute sitter. Reynolds goes, they score. Reynolds goes, takes the kicking tee off him and says, I'll take care of it. Goes to the other side and absolutely nails a sideline conversion to win the game. Redemption arc is crazy.
The other thing was, like, Reece Walsh almost missed the first one too.
Bro.
He hit that dreadfully too.
You know what's funny? This is embarrassing. The one he missed, I closed my eyes because I was like, I can't watch this shit. And he fucking missed. I opened my eyes and he's running back calm. And I was like, oh, he must have got it. Why isn't the 2 points coming up? I was like, you fucking serious? I had to rewind it. I was like, fucking serious, bro. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh my God, bro.
Doesn't that just point to, once again, he's running back and you can't tell
Yeah.
Whether he's fucked up or
Like,
not.
if I missed that, I would be like, fuck, shit, fuck. He's just like, oh, damn.
Goldfish.
Gonna have to set one up now.
Damn. Yeah, I'll set one up. Amazing stuff. Just amazing stuff. We'll speak a bit about the Panthers and then we'll get to back to the Broncos. Funnily enough, and I think we all kind of agree with it. We were wrong in the sense that the Penrith Panthers juniors coming through couldn't develop enough to get into a finals kind of race. But I think we've been proven right about the fact that the juniors in the side just probably weren't ready for that next step. You know what I mean? Like early in the year, I said they can't win the premiership because their juniors don't have enough time to develop. And when I meant can't win a premiership, I mean make a push into a prelim or whatever. But so we were wrong in that sense, or at least I was wrong in that sense. But I think we were proven right in the sense that, you know, a lot of their tries when the game was on the line were around Blaze Talangi, were around that edge kind of thing. I think he ended up missing like 7 tackles, had a couple of errors as well. And so the scary thing is for the Penrith Panthers, if this is what they're doing in the first year, what are they going to do next year? So when people say, "Oh, the dynasty's over," this is what the Penrith Panthers have done to us. A dynasty used to be if you win a comp every 3 years or so. They've brainwashed us into thinking a dynasty is only when you win back-to-back premierships. The dynasty is still alive. They will be even better next year. This is what they did coming last midway through the year. What are they going to do next year when they're sitting in the top 4 and they have that week off? And I thought it was an amazing performance. And unfortunately, they just got up against a side that was as fit but had just crazy talent and also had a chip on their shoulder, a 2023 grand final chip on their shoulder. And whoever writes the scripts, you know, for the Broncos to go down in the greatest ever, you know, grand final against the Penrith Panthers by 16 points, they claw it back. Then the Broncos to return serve and knock them out of their dynasty run, or at least their premierships in a row. Like, no one writes it better than that. That's rugby league.
It's undefeated.
Like,
it's just, yeah. And then for Adam Reynolds to be kicking the goal, it's just insane.
Just insane, bro.
Like, you sit there and I can't be that critical of Penrith because you can sit there and say, all right, this is year that it all ended, the streak ended, but, you know, they were up 14-6 with 10 to go, attacking the line. They'd completed at 85%. They were higher at that point. They were up. They were about 90% for a while there. And you go, it's all gone to plan. They said they were just killing them, turned over in the right spots. And it took, like, even the Broncos try off a kick, the try off the deflection, and then the one on the buzzer, that was just desperation football from one of the most lethal weapons in attack that I've ever seen in my life. I think most of us would agree, in Reece Walsh, to bring this down. I don't think Penrith did much wrong to be kicked out.
Well, I mean, you go back to that 2023 grand final, it was 2 points.
Yeah.
Like that, so this Broncos squad has the ability to be this good. They're just not consistently this good. So it's a bounce of the ball goes either way in both games, and either team could win.
Yeah.
I do find interesting, and it's so Broncos had less possession of the ball, still won the game. Like that, very rare that happens. So they had at least 3 or 4 minutes less, and they still won the game. Some other interesting stats though. So they had less ball, way less runs, but they ran for just under the amount of metres that Penrith did, but their post-contact metres, they actually ran for more than the Penrith Panthers, which is super interesting when you consider going against Melbourne Storm. One area where they might lack a bit is that contact through the middle. Now, granted, their wrestle makes up for it because they slowly play the ball down. But yeah, let's talk about the Brisbane Broncos, and then we'll get into the Penrith Panthers. But I mean, Reece Walsh, when the game is on the line to make that play, like, who else is making that play? Who else has the balls to throw a bizarre offload / I don't know what it was, basketball pass over the top when the game was on the line, and then for Mariner to finish that, to go through To'o and I think Edwards, like obviously Walsh should get all the credit, but Mariner's not getting enough credit. That was a tough finish. And for Walsh to just step up in the big moment and do that, I mean, this guy, we're talking about a 23-year-old with the absolute world at his feet. What a moment.
Yeah, coming up with that play, and I mean, but when he did it, I got to tell you, like, I wasn't surprised by the time we got there. It was just warming up for something from him. It's an interesting look at it from this week. So, like, do we all agree this Reece Walsh, this 10-week period, has been one of the best 10-week periods we've ever seen?
Mate, it's right up there. It's right up there.
All right. So when you talk about who else we'd probably put it up there with, obviously 09 Jared Hayne comes to mind. What stopped him? Melbourne, grand final day. Ben Barber, 2012, unbelievable run. Melbourne, grand final day. Tom Turbo, 2021, Manly are flying. He's killing it. Week 1 of finals. Melbourne beat them 40-12 or something like that. I think Turbo ran for 150 metres. I think he had more errors than tackle breaks in that game. You talk about giant killers. The Melbourne Storm, they've got a history of doing this against these players that are the hottest hands in rugby league at the time. I probably felt the same way about Hayne, Barber, Turbo at the time, but I just don't know how the fuck you stop this kid.
Yeah. And I think his last game they played, I think he was quite good. I'm just trying to get up this is the difference with this Broncos side compared to a lot of other Broncos side playing Melbourne in finals. We very rarely go into a finals game where we beat Melbourne Storm the last time we played, and not just beat them handedly as well. So the last time they played,
It was the toilet game.
he had 2 tries, a try assist. He killed it, absolutely killed it. 5 tackle breaks, line break assist. 11 tackles, 0 misses. So, like, he's done it before. And people go, they didn't have Hughes. But, like, come on, bro. Let's be real.
And I think the other thing, when I look back at those players in the past, like, Barber,
They did have Hughes. Whoops.
That's when Hughes got injured.
That's when he busted his arm, yeah.
When you look back at those guys in the past of, Hayne, Turbo, Barber, those sort of guys, for me, I felt like they were still in that period of having too much respect for Melbourne. And I don't mean this in an arrogant way.
No.
I don't think Reece has any respect for them whatsoever. I don't think he has any respect for anyone. I think he just and I love that. He just backs himself in 100%. And, he had a quote at the back end of last week where they asked him about Nathan Cleary and the Panthers and, how are you going to deal with them? And his first reaction was, how are they going to deal with us?
Yeah, and he got heaps of shit for it. He was right. He was right.
To be honest with you, I was annoyed that after that he giggled and then gave Nathan a compliment. I was like, no, fuck that.
Stay
Settle
with it.
down. You're the guy. You've earned the opportunity to be that guy. You've played your way into that role.
Well, there's a lot of truth in humour. He would have been feeling that deep down. And again, to say that, the arrogance, the gall, the temerity, to say
That's
that.
what I was about to say.
To say that about Nathan Cleary, like, bro, you haven't even done like a tenth of what he's done in his career yet, and you still said that. That's greatness. Like, okay, is he going to have the same resume as Nathan Cleary? Maybe not, but that's why he had that moment, because he believes in himself. And I agree with you, mate. I don't think it's like a respect thing with Walshy. I think it's just like, I don't think he cares about that stuff. Yeah. Like, it's just not, in his idea, he's not thinking about, I better respect this. He's just like, I'm out here to play footy. I don't care what anyone else thinks, which is a scary thing to be against the Melbourne Storm, because they often do beat you before you get on the field. Let's talk about the Hunt-Reynolds redemption arc. Ben Hunt, 10 years ago, essentially it's to the year. It'll be to
Not
the day.
essentially, it is.
Yeah.
Literally, a decade ago, in a grand final, one of the greatest, if not the greatest grand final of all time, he now guides his team back into a grand final. And we always knew this is where Benny Hunt's heart lay. We always knew he was a Bronco. They should have kept him all that time. I will say as well, the Ben Hunt and the Reynolds careers since going to the Broncos, Jesus, is elevated them way further up than what they would have been if they had stayed. Like, for example, a lot of people at South would have seen Reynolds as like second or third in the pecking order in regards to like importance to the team. Fair? When he was playing? Yeah. Since leaving, I think you'd argue he was the most important. Probably. Benny Hunt, at the Dragons, like, he plays really well, but like, they don't make finals. Well, clearly, he can make finals. He just needs to be in a team that, is built up around him. Both of those careers are looked on in such different lights. Like, this will be Reynolds' fifth grand final? Fourth grand final.
Jeez.
Like, fourth grand final. That's as good as a lot of the best ever sevens. And all because he took a punt and went up to Brisbane. The Reynolds sideline kick was our KO can't miss moment. There's so much content on KO Sports to get you in the mood for the grand final. Classic games, great interviews, featured documentaries. There is just so much good stuff on KO at the moment. I think as well there's a great Katoni Staggs mini documentary to check out. And heading into this cricket season too, there is just so much to download KO today. And Benny Hunt, this will be his second grand final. Like, just amazing stories about resilience, about backing yourself. Incredible.
Yeah, two guys. Not so much Adam Reynolds, but I guess to some extent, but I think Ben Hunt's just been treated so unfairly over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And the shit that's been spoken off the back of that grand final, I understand he made the mistake, but my God, I don't think that Brisbane team is a top 4 side that year if Ben Hunt's.
Oh, mate, he's amazing.
And it was
He
like,
was immense.
Yeah, when he was at the Dragons, everything came off him.
Yeah.
He had to be like coming to all the big plays and getting around the park. He's also shown that he can do it as, you know, the second or even third main man in attack. Like, it's not everything is around him. He can be that foil. He can be the main man. And, you know, every part of me is like, I cannot possibly go for the Brisbane Broncos in a grand final, but there are so many great storylines. Like, I'd love to see Hunt win a comp, Reynolds get another one. Payne Haas more than anything deserves a premiership. Like, there are so Madge as well. There are so many good storylines to come out of a Broncos title.
Shit. Far out.
But even like Shibasaki as well. Unbelievable.
Shave the goatee. I was worried there.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm going, you must know something I don't. How dare you shave that goatee? Holy moly.
Yeah, what was doing there? I thought this could be, one of those
Disastrous.
moments. Yeah, exactly. Backfire a little bit.
But he knew. He knew he needed more aerodynamics for that game.
Yep. It's a game of inches, apparently. So,
I was going to say, just thinking back to Dozer when he was a young pup coming through, Benny Hunt. Yeah, so he was in his first year when I was at the Broncos. I'd been there for 2 or 3 years. Man, to see how far he's come is just like fucking so good. So good.
Like the social media post from Matt last night too, of like Alex Glenn and Durrell sort of posting.
Yep. Jordan Carhu, all the boys.
Yeah.
All the boys. Because like Dozer is really the last one left of the old school Broncos. So he came in just as that early 2000, mid 2000 team kind of left. So he's still got a bit of that DNA in him. And that's why, you know, on the field, you can see him blowing up at everyone because that's just what he's taught to do coming through the Broncos. So just like, I just can't express how incredible that this whole moment is. And, you know, they're heading into another grand final. We'll say too, great omen. So my first son, born in a grand final year for the Broncos. Second son, born in a grand final year for the Broncos. Let's go.
How many kids you can have?
Yeah, I'll just keep popping them out so we make grand finals,
See
baby.
the front page of the paper today?
What's that?
It was something about rain. It was a pun on Adam Reynolds.
Oh, with
Rain.
R-E-Y.
I can't remember what it was. When it rains, it pours or something like that.
Oh, and it had R-E-Y-N?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I need to get that. Is it today?
Yeah, it's today.
I need to get a picture of that.
Yeah, that's good.
That's an omen if I ever seen one. Holy shit. Great omen.
It'd be interesting what we just said there about how like Dozer's still got that DNA of the old Broncos. Like, I'm very keen to see what the DNA of the Broncos is in 10 years' time because like I think Walsh has changed it completely.
Yeah.
But there's only one Reece Walsh.
Yeah,
he's
absolutely.
He's a unicorn. He's a one-on-one
And you
footballer.
got to remember, like, Carmichael was Larry as when he came in. You know, like, obviously he's not on Walsh's level.
Yeah.
But you remember, back then, that was as bad as Walshy. He had the big mohawk and he was carrying on. Like, again, society has moved even more progressive where, you know, blokes are painting their nails or whatever. But, you know, they have learnt to kind of fit one in the side, you know, that does something that's a bit different. But I just think that what we saw on the weekend, that's what happens when hard work meets talent. Like, that is, you can have these crazy wins with all the talent in the world, but when you need hard work and talent to come together to beat a dynasty, like, that's what happens. It just, honestly, I cannot believe how good that game was. I cannot believe it.
if Reece wins the Clive, can we get you to paint your nails for next week's show?
Yeah.
Nice. Go Broncos then.
Go Broncos. Mate, I'll paint my nails if they win.
All right, sweet.
Beautiful.
Clip that
I don't give a
up.
shit.
Hot pink.
I don't give a fuck.
Yes, hot pink.
I'll do whatever colour you want. I don't care. We're winning Prems. Fuck.
Lime green.
No, not like that's disgusting. I don't want losers' colours on me. Jesus Christ. Okay, let's talk about some of the performances. Payne Haas. Payne Haas is the greatest individual front rower of all time, and I don't want to hear anything from anyone ever about it. Period.